Hi everybody, it's Trishan Knitting Lady. I'm going to have to do this video in two parts because it's the second time it cut out at a certain point. And I just wanted to talk about some things. First, I went to Walmart to buy cream for my coffee and I got some yarn. I don't have the thing on it. It's peaches and cream. Pastel pink. It was $1.77 for it's 120 yards. I want to make some washcloths. I'm getting tired of knitting until I get my stuff here, which hasn't been completely confirmed yet. It was one of those days, Wednesday, nothing got together, nothing was confirmed. I didn't hear from certain people I was supposed to. It was a down day, low energy day, so I just let it go. So it's June 30th. My son is finally back from Hawaii. He went there for 10 days. He came back yesterday, so he must be exhausted. I haven't heard from him today. I heard from him yesterday. He just absolutely loved it, so I have to get to Hawaii. I have 4 states to go to, then I have all 50. So I have to get to Hawaii, Iowa, Nebraska, and Wisconsin, and that's it. And I can probably hit those 3 states, Iowa, Nebraska, and Wisconsin off in one trip. But I have to see when I can get to Hawaii. Like I said, he absolutely loved it. What was I going to say? You know that expression, it's so hot you can fry an egg on the sidewalk? Well, that's not absolutely true because the temperature has to be 158 degrees Fahrenheit for the egg to cook properly. There is a way to do it, but you don't want to eat the egg. What you would do, as long as it's over 100 degrees, you would put a piece of metal or a piece of tin foil out there, leave it there for 20 minutes to thoroughly heat up, then fry the egg. But you don't want to eat the egg. So the city of Oatman, Arizona holds a solar egg frying contest every year around July 4th. Now, when I lived in Arizona, I did visit Kingman, which is up below Las Vegas, but I didn't get to Oatman. Now I found out it's a ghost town. I love ghost towns. I would love to go there. So next time I go to Arizona, I have to get to Oatman. I've been to Shakespeare, New Mexico. It's near Lordsburg off the Interstate 10. That's a ghost town as well. I just find all that fascinating to see the history and the old buildings. Kingman was the birthplace of Andy Devine, the old actor. He was born in 1905 and died in 1977. I don't know, now I'm aging myself. He was a big man with a gravelly voice. In fact, the main street is Andy Devine Avenue. Interesting. Now, today's the 30th. It's the birthday of Michael Phelps. Where's my notes? He was born 1985. Mike Tyson was born 1966. And Lena Horne, God rest her soul, she was born 1917, died 2010. And on this day in 1977, a signal was received from space that lasted 72 seconds, and they still don't know how or where it came from. Interesting. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to cut this off and start a new one so I don't get cut off again, is about asteroids. Because it's an anniversary of an asteroid hitting well, it didn't really hit the Earth, but it exploded above Siberia in the beginning of the 20th century, 1908, and left a lot of destruction, but it was in the middle of Siberia, which is very remote. So let me end this and start again. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if I get cut off now. We were talking about asteroids. Now, what is an asteroid? Now, where are my notes? See? If I don't have my notes, I don't know anything. Okay. An asteroid is a minor planet in the inner solar system. And it's a small rocky object that orbits the sun. And on this day, 1908, an asteroid exploded above this remote area in Siberia called, now I'm going to spell it, Tunguska, Tunguska, in Siberia, leaving 800 square miles of scorched earth and blown down trees. Now, I have a lot of questions about this, because they said it was a remote area of Siberia, and they couldn't go out and investigate it for 20 years. So how did they know it happened? There must be more to the story. So they finally got out there to investigate, and they determined that it was traveling at a speed of 33,500 miles per hour and exploded 3 to 6 miles above the Earth. So it didn't hit the Earth. It exploded in the atmosphere, causing what they call airburst. And this is another question. They said 80 million trees were destroyed. Now, how did they come up with that number? Did they count them? I know Siberia is supposed to be vast. They said it's just miles and miles of nothing. Well, no, I guess vegetarian, but no vegetarian. Listen to me, vegetation, but no people, because it's so cold and it's hard to live there. So they determined that many trees were destroyed and reindeer were killed for miles. Well, I understand that. Have you seen reindeer? I think deers are some of the sweetest looking animals, and reindeers are, well, they're a form of deer. I remember when I first saw them, I was like, oh. But took them 20 years to go out there and investigate. Now, asteroids, scientists are looking into asteroids because they are afraid they're going to hit the Earth and cause destruction beyond anything we would know. So they are looking to visit asteroids. So this is going to be interesting. It reminds me of a book I read years ago. And I shouldn't say I always think of this book, but I think of this book every now and then. It really left an effect. The name of the book is Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeffer, Pfeffer. It's a young adult book, but I read the first and the following. She had 3 books after that, so it was a series, like The Hunger Game was a series. And it was the same type of book, talking about the future and what could happen. And what's the right word for that? Dystopian? It was like a dystopian novel. What happened is the asteroid hit the moon and knocked it off its orbit. And the moon really has an effect on Earth. It controls our tides. It does a lot of things. And it really changed the way the Earth was. There was flooding, all kinds. The weather completely changed. So it talked about this main family And then, you know, of course, it affected the world too. So the first book really made me think, what would happen if something like that happened? You know, it's not really out of the realm. It could happen. You know, some of these things you read and you go, that will never happen. But this could happen. And that's why scientists are looking at asteroids very closely. Now, there's 3 books. Like I said, there's 4 books in the series. The third was even darker. The second was darker. The third, I was disgusted by. It was just so dark and so depressing. The fourth, but I read the fourth. The fourth was a little bit more positive. But the Hunger Games, I remember when I read the Hunger Games and the 2 books that followed. The second one, I was very upset by. I was like, oh, how more depressing can this be? The third was a little better, but the whole premise of the Hunger Games was kind of depressing. It really made you think, though. So if you want to read a good book, I would suggest Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. I looked into her other books, and they're very depressing as well, or so the review said, and I can only take so much depression. But they should make a movie out of that. It would make a really interesting movie. So that's about it. Nothing else is going on. Like I said, it's a Wednesday. It's been a down day. Nothing much was accomplished. So I'm just going to watch people's YouTube channels and do some crocheting. So take care, everybody. Bye.